Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are with Doom Eternal. We're going to be taking a look at the first DLC campaign, The Ancient Gods. For whatever reason, I keep thinking this is the Old Gods, but, well, this isn't Call of Cthulhu meets Doom, although I have to say, my money's still on Doom Guy. He'd find some way to kill the old Cthulhu. Now, I've never played this before, so this is previously in Doom Eternal. I love it already. It's just text. I'm already in love with it. The forces of hell had descended on Earth, and the Doom Slayer returned in defense of mankind. The Hell Priests were cast down, and the Slayer carried his vengeance to the heavens themselves to end the demonic invasion. There he challenged the Makers, angels of deceit, and defeated the ancient Khan, who had led them astray. The conquest of Earth had been halted, but now a new threat has arisen. Thank Ysmir for that. Because let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, the demons that remain in Urdak have corrupted the once holy realm and threatened to use the higher dimension as a new pathway for conquests. If they are not banished, all of existence is at risk. To stop them, the Slayer must now journey to find the Seraphim, a mysterious figure from his past whose whereabouts until now have remained unknown. Only he can guide the Slayer to the one being capable of stealing Urdak back off from the demon forces once again. And that, of course, is going to be the Father. We are a giant. Oh, I saw some texture pop in there.
Sir.
Intern, really?
The signal, but we'll be able to teleport him onto the rig's main deck.
Dr. Hayden, ready to launch the package, sir. Whenever you're ready.
Can I say I love this already?
We cannot regain control of Urdak without the Seraphim's help. You broke the seal when you awakened the icon of sin in their world. The balance between their two dimensions has been broken with the demons now in control of Urdak.
Portal ready in 3, 2.
I love the fact there's other humans, because I always hate it when games it's just Doom Guy, all the rest are dead. And that is a nice shotgun. Oh, that music, lads and lasses. I knew they were going to get Andrew GeneralLotz, or how the hell you pronounce that guy's name, to do this. And I gotta say, holy shit, does it sound good. Unless that's some leftover Mick. Either way, I'm glad they got that guy to do that, because he did an excellent Doom remix, among other soundtracks. So, the UAC had their own aircraft carrier, actually the ARC aircraft carrier. ARC craft carriers, anyone? Oh, that's what you always say. You just can't let us have a nice victory, can you? Smack him. Beat him. You know, I've not played Doom Eternal in a few months. I've forgotten how fast you move in this game. I love it. As of this recording, it is October 20th. It's almost time for Halloween, and it is only fitting that we kill us a couple... Ooh, we got all the weapons? Awesome. That we kill us a couple of demons. See, that's the thing. For me, when it comes to horror, I'm only really scared by ghost stories more than anything else. Because, like, you know, being able to shoot the insane maniac coming after you makes things a lot easier. But, like, with a ghost, unless you have a proton pack, which doesn't exist, you're kind of fucked. And I am being fucked up. Let's charge her up, and blast. Okay, that did nothing. The blast, it does nothing. Oh, I am so glad that id Software was allowed to make an expansion pack. This is exactly what we would want from a goddamn expansion. You know, I always said I was never going to buy any DLC. And then, of course, there was a epilogue for Mass Effect 2. And so, of course, being a big fan of Mass Effect 2, I bought that goddamn epilogue DLC. That was the first DLC I was ever forced to buy. And I swore to myself I would never buy a stupid season pass, because I thought that was a bunch of crap. And, you know, when I saw that there was actually going to be, you know, legitimate expansion DLC for Doom Eternal, I had to do it. By which I mean when I was reminded that Doom Eternal was coming out, or Doom, the Old Gods was going to come out today, I knew I had to just do it, and I did it. I forced myself to spend money. $30 though, so that means each DLC campaign... Ooh, that was awesome. Each DLC campaign is $15. more Doom Eternal is always good, because I've been trying to get me a good science fiction FPS, and I've not been able to find, I do not remember the controls for the grenade. I don't even know if I even have a grenade. Let's see, that's not it. Oh yeah, we got this thing now. There we go. Wow, it has been a long time since I played Doom. I really see, that's the one thing I love about Doom. Like, you can really just kind of jump right back into it, and there really is not much else like it. That's always the issue when you beat a really good first-person shooter. It's like, you want to play one just like it, and sometimes finding such a thing is not an easy prospect. The graphics still look pretty good. We're still running it maxed out, which makes me very, very happy in the pleasure centers of my brain. Let's grab some of that ammo there. I'm glad that Doom Eternal did well enough to actually get campaign DLC, because Doom 2016 evidently did not. I think Doom 2016 only got, I think it got some multiplayer DLC, which, the multiplayer for Doom Eternal, or Doom 1, Doom 2016 did not really interest me, whereas the multiplayer for Doom 1 did, about 20 years after it came out. Playing Deathmatch with Doom, the original Doom, is actually much more fun than one might think, but very, very difficult. I love how it's just floating there like this was a video game or something. Very strange indeed. It's like it knows what it's trying to do. Whatever next. Truly, we are living in blessed times. Actually, no, it's 2020. But hey, you know what? As bad as 2020 might be, at least we got Doom Eternal and some Doom Eternal DLC. My god, I'm having a lot of fun. But anyway, Halloween, horror, and other things of that nature. For me, only like ghosts and shit like that actually scare me, because it's like, how can you fight a ghost without a goddamn proton pack? It's like, there's nothing you can really do other than, I guess, run. Or like demons and shit also scare me a bit as well, because like that's something you really can't fight. That's why I am so glad I do not live in the Warhammer 40k universe. Or the Warhammer Fantasy universe, which I like a lot more. You know, the Warhammer Fantasy universe is still something I think is a lot better than 40k. The stories are just that much more interesting. I'm currently reading one right now where there's a knight that's having to deal with a chaos cult that has infiltrated another knightly order, and the way it looks like, the book is going to have him team up with some fantasy Vikings, or fantasy Scandinavians, or whichever way you want to call them. Recently, I've been binging a shit ton of YouTube videos on medieval weapons. There's a lot there that I did not know about. Oh crap, I am being blasted by those goddamn mancubuses. I didn't forget these bastards were... Oh wait, why is that set like that? What control? Ah, dead. I blame that on myself. I was trying to figure out how to change the bloody thing. It's been a long time. Oh, how I love SSDs. Be they the starship or the hard drive. Okay, that's it. There we go. Okay, let's switch that to something that doesn't suck. Okay. Okay, I think that's the one. How do you switch grenades? Okay, that's not it. There we go. Okay, now we're back in business. But yeah, there's a lot that I thought I knew more than I did on medieval weaponry and things of that nature, or medieval societies. Evidently, they had the ability to read and write in ways that aren't really discussed. Like, they knew how to spell phonetically, which I find quite fascinating, to say the least. The Middle Ages has always been something I've always been kind of interested in. Not as much as, say, you know, World War II or more recent history. What's kind of interesting, though, is time is scarier than anything else when you think about it, lads and lasses. You know, I'm only 31, and I'm gonna die. Hopefully not at 31. But, you know, I'm only 31, and so much crap has changed. God damn it. Looks like I'm playing about as bad as Polygon, but so much crap has changed in such a fairly short period of time. But that's just kind of what it does. It'll happen to you. One thing that is very fascinating, I've also been binging a shit ton of old Cinemassacre monster madnesses. And one of his episodes was very interesting. He was talking about the Ghost Show. The Ghost Show is like sort of a live performance at a movie theaters. And, you know, such a thing is barely remembered by anyone because there's not really any records of that. And that wasn't even that long ago. Something has now become quasi-legendary. That is kind of scary. I wonder what stuff today will become quasi-legendary only 50 or so years in the future. Now, I did actually ask my grandparents, who were alive at the time the ghost shows would have been just ending. And my grandfather, who lived in a small town in the 1960s, didn't remember anything about that. He mentioned that the only movie theater in town had one tiny little screen, and that was it. Which I find kind of interesting. You know, we kind of take for granted our movie theaters today, whereas back in the day it could potentially even just be a sheet hung on a wall. But my grandmother does vaguely recall seeing, ooh, I could totally go for that. Instead, let's just jump down here, because that is a crap ton of busted. Give me all your ammo, dude. Vaguely remember such a thing. I think there's probably going to be a lot of online stuff that will be taken down, or certain things like little memes that they'll be forgotten, or possibly, hell, even Facebook might become somewhat legendary if that website ever gets shut down. That is one of those things where, or like, oh, what is that thing called? Not Mass Effect, MySpace. I'm sure there was all sorts of things that happened with that that have long since been forgotten. BBSs are probably more relevant to becoming legendary than anything else, because the BBS scene was something that I was alive at the time, but I was too young to really understand what a BBS even was. In fact, I have a vague recollection of my grandfather mentioning using those, and that was his buddy mentioning those, using one of those, and I do recall myself thinking that, oh, a bulletin board, like I was thinking of more like those cork. Crap, that's two Architrons. Here's one thing that's also could be kind of cosmic in a way. We're playing Doom Eternal in 2020. This is a sequel to a game that when it came out, the bulletin board system was really the only way to communicate online. That right there, I think, is pretty bloody amazing. That's just how that's just one of those aspects of time, you know, that we kind of just take for granted in a way. But we're almost at Halloween. Now, I got initially into horror movies by rewatching all of the, I'm gonna die, no I'm not, give me all that sweet health, by watching the old Universal horror films. That right there is another thing that's kind of interesting. Those are, in many respects, a really good window into the past. Because the old Universal horror films, you know, that was from the 1930s. A lot of that stuff was pre-World War II. Can you imagine just the sheer amount of changes that have taken place between then and now? You know, in terms of technology, in terms of culture, and yet they still resonate. Goddamn Dracula is like it's like a message thrown into the future. And can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, before you know it, this game right here, instead of being top of the line, this thing is going to be, you know, as old as Doom is, you know? Can you imagine 20 years in the future? 2040! Let's hope 2040 is better than 20. I'm going to need to chuck some grenades, because there's a lot of bastards that need to die. Although I wonder if there's going to be like a high-res texture pack for this, running on like the, let's see, we've got the GTX or RTX 2060. Imagine if we're running like the RTX 30,000, although it's already a RTX 3000 that is actually as good as the RTX 2070, only it's like cheap. No, it's better than the RTX 2070, only it's way cheaper. Oh, he's probably gonna kill me. No, he's not. I do have to say these. Oh, great! Get him! Get him! Get him! The Mancubuses are definitely. Oh, I am down to. Thank you. Thank you very much, game. We're probably just gonna play this level split it up into 3 episodes. I thought about live streaming this, but honestly, I just don't have the time. I've got a shitload to do even today. Because as of this recording, I've got a shit ton of work to do on the Alien Isolation video. Going to go all out with that. And for you excellent fans who watch this Let's Play, you'll know that I'm actually going to have a costume for that particular video. Although I'm not going to put on any skits or anything. It's just going to be more of a set dressing more than anything else. Because honestly, when it comes to videos, I don't really like skits. It's kind of like just kind of get on with it. But having a little bit of set dressing is never a bad thing. And cut him up, because I could always use more ammo. Never enough ammo. Although there's plenty of... No! Oh. You know, I totally meant to do that. It was totally the greatest plan. Ooh, is that going to be a platforming challenge? It is! And I fucked it up! Okay, and jump. And go, go, go! Haha! Now, I was kind of annoyed that there was only going to be 3 DLC levels, but if these levels are as long as I hope they are, then that will not be a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. I'm just surprised that there was campaign DLC to begin with. There was that dark time when pretty much all you had was multiplayer crap. And I still say multiplayer is just not that compelling. You know, I get it. People love the multiplayer. For me, it's like, just give me more single player. Because I don't really consider multiplayer that real of a game. I mean, I get that you need to have good balance so people will actually play it and stuff like that. Weak point turret. Oh, we got it. Oh, really? I already knew that. Like, come on, game. Do you take me for a fool? Now watch, I die almost immediately. Okay, let's see. This is that. Okay. Do you take me for a fool, game? There we go. Well, that was easy. Oh, it's gonna keep regrowing. I see. And smack him. Do you take me for a fool, game? Smack him. Smack him. You know, Doomslayer, you would think that you'd be able to just punch that guy in one hit and he'd die, but evidently not. You know, Slayer, you probably ought to, you know... Actually, wait a minute, what the hell? Oh, wait a minute, is there someplace I'm supposed to go? Music so far is as good as I hoped it would be. I bet there's something really obvious that I missed. I'm gonna blame lack of sleep. Because I figured these guys were just gonna keep infinity spawning, but maybe, maybe not. Nope, okay, never mind. Now, one thing is kind of interesting here. Now, it says, there we go. Mixom actually does appear in Rage, because I'm also working on that eventual review. There will be a review of Rage in December of this year. I gotta say, Rage is surprisingly good. I hated it initially, and it still runs like crap and looks like crap, but it's actually remarkably fun. Oh, crap. Haha! I totally meant to say that. I probably should actually change weapons here and blast this bastard. And I did not blast fast enough and was promptly eradicated. Now, one thing that's kind of funny when we talk about Polygon being kind of shit, I recently got my grandfather into the modern day Dooms, and he's busy playing Doom 2016. Now, keep in mind, he hasn't played a video game since 2014, and so is extremely rusty when it comes to playing games. What I find hilarious is, my god, ladies and gentlemen, how could Polygon play so badly? I mean, seriously, my 80-year-old grandfather, who hadn't played a game in 7 years, you know, was able to at least figure out how to move. Oh, he's gonna pop back in, isn't he? Asshole. He can actually figure out how to move and not run into walls. Now, he hasn't quite mastered moving and shooting yet, but, well, he still is making more progress than Polygon did. Smack him. I just don't get it. I mean, seriously. When you can't play a game better than an 80-year-old grandfather, you know you got problems. Or, probably, they're just not gamers, but instead activists. Smack him! I don't mean smacking Polygon, I mean smacking, enemies. Not that they would actually know anything about that. But we have another remake, ladies and gentlemen. Crystal Caves has finally gotten its much-needed remake. And I'll tell you this right now. Crystal Caves, I already reviewed that many years ago. Crystal Caves has actually aged a bit better than you might think. By which I mean, it's fun. I mean, yeah, it obviously doesn't look that amazing, and didn't look amazing at the time. Especially compared to games like Revenge of Shinobi, or any of the others like that. But it is remarkably fun. But I think, I don't know if I mentioned this in my review of it, but that is a game where you need to approach not as a basic platformer, but instead you need to look at it like a puzzle platformer. Because it is not just a run and gun platformer by any means. I mean, you get a gun, but that thing has to be used strategically, and really, you gotta figure out the puzzle of the level. Otherwise, you're just gonna die a lot, and the game will seem kind of crappy. Because I don't think I ever really knew that it was a puzzle platformer, so I just thought it was really difficult. But once I figured that out, it's one of those things where once you understand how you're supposed to play the game, it actually becomes fun. It actually is fairly puzzling, to say the least. It is actually a pretty good amount of challenge. Although nothing too horribly difficult. Although I imagine the later episodes are going to be more challenging than the first one. That's one of those games that was not the first game I ever played, but was the first game I ever had for my very own computer. It was back in the old 90s. I had a Compact S Pro that my grandfather gave me, and that was one of the games that it could run. So Crystal Caves has always been rather near and dear to my heart. And I quite like this level, although I feel like this particular area here is too much of a obvious arena. So far we haven't had that many obvious arenas, but I noticed I have been locked in a bit more than usual. So I'm hoping this expansion pack won't be... And I don't think I really like these turrets. That's mainly because I can see the logic behind the design. It's like, it's going to make you stop and fire, so you can get a good accurate hit. But I feel like that's just going to slow down gameplay a little too much. We'll have to see, though. Maybe it'll grow on me, but right now, it's like, I would like to get out of this arena because I'm not really in the mood to just be locked in. I want to... The Doomslayer, he wants to hunt. He doesn't want to be fed his enemies. He wants to slay the great space god Korn. Now, I would like to see Doomslayer in the Warhammer Fantasy universe, but sadly such a thing will never happen because that universe doesn't exist anymore. It was wiped out, unfortunately, and replaced with Age of Sigmar, which is pretty shitty. And that's not me saying that because, oh, General, have you never read Age of Sigmar? I actually finally consumed some Age of Sigmar media, and that piece of Age of Sigmar media should have made me like the series. Unfortunately, it was lacking in quality. So the Warhammer Fantasy series had two major characters that everybody loved: Gotrek and Felix. Although it's probably more pronounced Gotrek, but I've always pronounced... Ah, goddammit. I've always pronounced it Gotrek, and I'm not gonna change it now. And so, the piece of Warhammer Fantasy media that... or Age of Sigmar media that I consumed was an audio drama about Gotrek, who survived the end of the Warhammer Fantasy universe and made it to the Age of Sigmar universe. And he was even voiced by Brian Blessed. It had everything going for it. Too bad the story was complete crap, and the universe is also shit as well. I mean, they were trying to get away from non-copyrightable terms, just like Warhammer 40k is. Instead of the Eldar in Warhammer 40k, you've got the Eldari, or the Aldari, because you can copyright that. And, you know, in Warhammer Fantasy, you had elves and dwarves and stuff like that. Everything that, like you'd normally expect, right? Well, not anymore. They got like the Duarden that are dwarves, but they're made out of lava. It's like, holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, is that shit? I mean, and once again, the story's just pretty bad. Then you got like Stormcast Eternals, And then you had Gotrek moping about. It's like, and also, Brian Blessed does not sound like Gotrek should sound. Gotrek is supposed to be a half-mad, you know, like, dwarf. And Brian Blessed just sounds way too nice. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's see, I need to chainsaw you right now. But at least they let Warhammer Fantasy die. You know, as bad as it being dead is, I'm actually glad it's dead, because I would hate to see it get Star Trek or Star Wars'd. You know, it's like, because nobody wants to see their favorite franchises just utterly annihilated. Because, well, I think pretty much everyone's favorite franchise has been annihilated in some way. You know, like Aliens got annihilated to a degree with all those Prometheus craps, and yeah, I don't think Predator got annihilated though. Okay, what the hell? Did I encounter some sort of glitch? Or, oh, I guess I gotta jump up there? Yeah, because the door's locked. See, that's a problem when you have arenas. You wonder, like, okay, wait, did the arena not work? Or what? Okay, let's see. I would assume we would have to jump up here, and I would assume wrong. Can I attach myself to that? No. Is there anything in here? I would have to say... Aha! There we go, except this doesn't go anywhere. I was overthinking it, it would seem. Okay, does this mean that is there somebody still alive? Did that not trip? Do I shoot the glass? No. You see, like, this is the problem with any sort of arena shooter. It's like, why is it not working? Or is it working and I'm just supposed to find my way around? Oh, let's see here. Does this lead anywhere? No, it does not. Well, if this is what I think it is, then that means that this is... Okay, let's load the checkpoint, because I can't figure out where to go, because that door didn't open, and I bet that door is supposed to open. Okay, let's see. And the answer is everything's dead, but the door isn't opening. Well, we'll have to look around for a little bit, then I might have to look up some sort of walkthrough, because I'm not seeing anywhere to go. Or the game could be bugged out, or any number of things. It's like, it would be... I'm sure... Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I see what you're doing, game. Oh, what about the left hand? Is it busy wanking? Okay, so, I thought that old Sammy here was actually going to be the Samurai Maker, but evidently not. Alright, and... So why is this key just a regular key card then, Sammy? I'm just asking. Because it's just a regular card. I mean, you think it'd be a little bit more fancy, you know, maybe with a little bit of gold on it, you know, I'm just saying. Instead it's just kind of regular, but whatever. Okay, so it looks like... See, right here is where I'm seeing some problems. Okay. Now, I get that this is an expansion pack, but you can probably tell what I'm already gonna say. This looks kind of annoying. I just fought in this arena here. Why am I fighting in it again? It's gonna get boring. Doom Eternal avoided that, which is very important, because you don't want to have to keep fighting in the same areas over and over again. Let's hope this arena battle is not gonna last that long. I mean, it's just, that's one of the problems with expansion packs, is you can potentially have a case where it's just more gameplay, but in order to pad it out, they have to do things like, you know, reuse levels and things of that nature. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, let's swap this and just shred the bastards. That's still fun. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes but I would hate to think that they are going to be cheap about it. Ooh, an extra life really helped me, by which I mean it ensured that I didn't have to replay any more gameplay. And smack him! And chainsaw the busted. And let's take the old rocket launcher and blast that busted. Now, one thing about those old horror movies I always found kind of interesting is, you know, they really lacked a lot of the more modern conveniences or modern story tropes. And that's both good and bad. One of the biggest problems with some of those movies, though, is they were very cynical about what they were doing. It's like they would have very abrupt endings so that you could get immediately on to the next one. So it's like, instead of any sort of epic conclusion, it's just, you know, they show up, there might be 1 or 2 seconds of fighting. One of my biggest problems with horror movies in general, and this is not necessarily even an old horror movie trope, it's just the issue of, god damn it, it's just the issue of, it's the issue of where some of these things are very lazily designed, wherein, you know, most of the action takes place at the end of the movie. So many horror movies do that, and I understand why they do it. They do it because they really like saving on money. So if it's just a bunch of people wandering around, you know, it's a lot cheaper. But that really makes for an unpleasant movie to watch. One of the great aspects of the more modern film, and once again, I'm not trying to go all modern on everyone, but it is something to point out, is they generally keep the pace up. Now, not all of them will do this, but a lot of the more, you know, like Halloween cash grabs will at least keep the pace up the entire time. I'm generally thinking of two, kind of like cash grab, you know, date night movies that I have watched over the years. One was, I think it was Insidious, which was just a generic ghost kind of movie, but was creepy enough. One of the things about watching horror movies is it's always kind of good to watch them, or watching movies in general, is best when you have a group of friends to watch them with, because the audience interaction is something that does overall enrich a film, unless you got like a shitty audience who like talks through it or doesn't really take the whole movie watching experience seriously and just kind of shits on it the entire time. Now, if it's mutual riffing, then that's fine, but when you got just one guy saying this is stupid or this is terrible, then that kind of ruins the experience. But the fact is, if you have a good enough audience, it will work quite well. And half the fun of watching a horror movie at the theater is being able to enjoy the audience reaction to the various things that happen. I remember when I went to see there was a movie about, oh, what was it called? I think it was, oh, god damn it, that was not the name of the movie. God damn it, that was also not the name of the movie. I think the movie was called Oculus. It was about some evil mirror, and it was very much a cheap movie. Because it had like two characters. It was like a Netflix movie at the theater. Because you ever notice that Netflix movies just have like 1 or 2 actors and it mostly take place in a room? But it was basically 2 actors and it mostly took place in a room. And it was a decent, you know, date night kind of movie. And, you know, it was a lot of fun to see how the audience reacted to all the various cheap jump scares. And, you know, jump scares do work. I mean, that's the thing. These movies aren't really meant to be high art. You know, it's not like not every movie is going to be Alien. Let's put it that way, ladies and gentlemen. It's like not every game can be Doom. So I'm not going to complain when a movie is generic like that. But it is a lot of fun to watch those things with a good group of friends, or just to enjoy the audience reaction. That's why I hope after the current unpleasantness movies, and I'm gonna get electrocuted, movies and things like that come back with a vengeance, because that is one thing I do miss. The whole theater experience is a lot of fun. That's one of the things that's really sad about there not being an Alamo Drafthouse near me anymore, because if you've never experienced Alamo Drafthouse, you're really missing out, because like that is a movie theater for people who actually like movies. And I remember the last movie I saw at the Alamo Drafthouse was a 1940s horror movie, The House of Dracula, where Dracula didn't have a house, and he was barely in the movie. Dracula's bad about that. It's like he has a movie named after him, and he's barely in the bloody thing. But seeing House of Dracula at the Alamo Drafthouse was great. I actually got to see, I actually had to suffer 2 Alamo Drafthouse closings. My first Alamo Drafthouse, that's up Yeti Hell Knight, isn't it? Well, you know what? We're gonna shoot you with a rocket. The first Alamo Drafthouse closing was, I think like in 2012, and the last movie I saw there was the perfect horror movie to end out an excellent movie theater, and that was The Thing. It was also an 80s night, and that was actually a lot of fun because they had a lot of old music videos, had fucking Michael Jackson blaring out. That was a good time. See, that's the thing. Going to a Cinemark, yeah, it's kind of a generic experience, but going to a real movie theater, now that is something that you can treasure for a lifetime. But The Thing and House of Dracula. What's fun about seeing House of Dracula is there were other fans of classic cinema there, and actually got into a little debate about whether or not Bela Lugosi played Dracula more than 2 times. He played other vampires, but as far as I recall, even now, he only played Dracula twice. Once in Dracula and once in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is actually still pretty hilarious. See, this is where the game's going to get a bit of a slog here, because I already fought here. Let me go someplace else. See, that's the thing. I should not have to be slogging through every corridor fighting a shitload of baddies. It's fun, but it's not going to be fun the second time I play the game. Or the 3rd time, or the 4th time. And you want people to keep playing a game, so, you know, they'll buy the next one. Actually, that didn't last too long, so I'm not going to complain too much. See, like right here, I should just be able to... Oh, shit. That's the dude. That's the dude, bro, that everybody hated. Alright, you bastard. What the hell? I don't care if you can't connect Steam online, even though the internet should be on. It's a good thing I'm not streaming if the net just went down. Alright, cut him up! Cut him up! There's the bastard that everybody wanted to complain about. I mean, this is so hard. I mean, I gotta tell you, this is so hard. Like, this reminds me of the old Ornstein and Smoes. Ornstein and Schmo! There we go. Got him. Come on. Actually, I think he's been nerfed. I feel like that's been nerfed. Because he was a lot harder. At least he feels like he was harder. Because see, like, I don't have to actually move too much. I think the window's been... I get the feeling the window's been increased. Smack him. At least that's sort of like the sense I get. And like, I've been able to hit him a lot easier. So I think the Marauder's been nerfed. If we're gonna be fighting 2 of them, I guess they did that for balance purposes, but he was way too easy. And this is on Hurt Me Plenty difficulty, which was plenty difficult in the base game. So I'm not surprised he was nerfed. There was a lot of complaints. So... Oh, I actually have to hit the elevator. Whatever next? Truly, the most advanced game of all time. So, let's see. Where was I, ladies and gentlemen? My brain is tired. But yes, going to see a movie in an actual movie theater is indeed a lot of fun. I might actually split this up into multiple episodes because it looks like this is going to be a fairly long level. I quite like this. And this is still my blind playthrough of this. I think there's 2 minutes. I'm going to get to a stopping point, and then we're going to come back a little later, and we'll see what the rest of the game has in store for us. But I can say I'm quite liking it to a degree, but I think there's just a... They need to... I don't think I'm going to like all the arenas. Now, thankfully, this is not an arena. But I think if it does go the arena route, it's going to be very aggravating. Let's go ahead and shut that off. Come on, and get him! Smack him! Ooh, he has no eye. And let's blap that guy. And let's... Come on, stick your eye up and blap him again. And then let's introduce this guy to a rocket lawn chair. Now, I might actually live stream some of this as well. We'll just have to see if I have the time. Please don't fall. Or I might just leave this as a let's play. Because I I personally still quite like Let's Plays, even if they are a bit old-fashioned. My god, I'm old. And let's blast him. And smack him. Hey, where'd you come from? Hey, where'd you come from? Give me your soul. Your soul is mine. Alright, let's get to the next checkpoint and call it a day. Unless, like, we're almost there. Because... Okay, what did that do? Oh, I see what that did. Oh, I'm gonna miss. Ah, they've made the platforming challenges more difficult. I like this. Let's see if there's anything good up here. Ooh, there's a page. Book of the Seraphs, Part 2. The very first molded in there, atonement, mythiluminarium. Okay, I'll have to read that later. No! Okay, so, well, I thought there was going to be more of a window than that. Well, let's see. If that's where the Seraphim key is, we might as well just try to finish this. Because, no, we're probably going to go throughout that entire area over there. So it may be a better idea just to split this up into 2 parts. No, come on, go! No! Come on, go! Oh, crap. Well, and that's a lot of boats down there. Okay, well, I think that's exactly where we're going to get a checkpoint. Come on, come down here, you bastard. One of the big problems with a lot of those more classic films that I've noticed, having rewatched a few recently, is there's often a lot of dead space. God damn it. There's often a lot of dead space where not much happens. Even James Bond, of all things, is kind of guilty of that. Oh, come on! Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that we've had a checkpoint by now. Next time, we're going to go over to that area and slaughter all within. For now, I am GeneralLotz, wishing you a good Frankenstein, good Wolfman, whatever makes you happy. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you can, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue bringing you this great content.